So here's a closer look at the parts inside of a coaster brake. You can see the bearings, the races, the clutch, and the brake pads. I have noticed inside of my coaster brake that the axle is pretty mashed up a little bit, like the threads, like someone's been in here before. So it's kind of hard to get it off.
6 hours later.
So this thread is really like a fine thread, so I had to screw this out and the threads were like messed up, so it took a long time to get out. It's finally almost there, it's spinning. But the one problem I think we're gonna have to do eventually is change this axle, but I don't have one right now, so I'm gonna put this back together with the old one. But I'd recommend if you have this problem to change the axle because it will tighten itself when you ride the bike really fast. And when you put this back together, you have to make sure that the treads are like tight so it doesn't like back out when you pedal backwards. You know, like how coaster brake when you pedal backwards, it stops the bike, right? But it sends a load onto the axle, so the bolts have to be tight so it doesn't loosen. Or if it was super tight and then the wheel just seizes. So now we can clean up all the parts and make sure that there's no metal materials on them. It's funny because this wheel says that it's made in Canada, but the arm on it says that it's made in China for the coaster brake, so that's interesting. So now we can start putting this back together now. We need to be able to put the coaster brake back into the wheel, so we need the wheel soon. I'm just making sure that the bearings look good. Okay, so now we have to put the clutch part back together. So the spring screws onto there. So you see how that's a really coarse thread? It just like goes one turn and it goes back and forth. That's why your coaster brake engages so fast. We have to make sure that this is clean though. Because if it's not, you'll feel grit. Okay, so now that's clean. We can put that back together. So I'm gonna explain the part of how you put it back together right now. So the first thing you're gonna do is put the clutch assembly back together. So there's two tabs on the end. You connect those together, but you have to put the brake pads in on the clutch assembly and slide it into the wheel. And when you slide it into the wheel, you have to make sure that it seats properly, or it's not gonna, you will have no brakes. So you would have to make sure that goes in properly, and then you just screw the axle back in, and the shaft nut, whatever it's, I don't know what it's called, but you'd screw that back in, and put your brake arm back on, and put the bolts back on, and you're good to go. So that's how you reassemble your coaster brake. Now you can watch the video. So now I got the brake pads and the coaster brake and the gear back on. So now what I need to do is reassemble the arm part before I slide that in. So I got the brake pads in though. So we'll continue. So now after fighting with this for like 5 minutes, I finally got the brake pads back in. The reason it's so tight is because of my hub is like kind of messed up inside a little bit. So that's why it's so tight, but I got it back in. So now I'm gonna put some grease in there and try to put the part with the two tabs on it back in. I don't know the name of it, but try to put that back in. So you have to make sure that you put it upright like that, because if you put the wheel the other way, you won't be able to slide in the gear. But I did forget the bearings, so we have to do that again. But now I know how it goes in. Okay, so I finally got the brake pads back in and the arm back together. So now I'm just gonna screw it back in with the bolts and then we're done. So that was pretty easy on how you rebuild your coaster brake. And to be aware, I did not cut anything out of this video. That's why this video is so long, because I wanted to show you guys the whole experience of how you rebuild the coaster brake. So this is the time when the video ends. That's how long it took me to rebuild the coaster brake. that's how you rebuild your coaster brake. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.